We're so back. Welcome to my office. Hello. Yeah.
Nice.
Whoa. Did finally get paid for the first time. So freaking cute. Today was a really good day. Today kind of sucked. That's residency, baby. So my first paycheck as a resident here in California was... Welcome back, vlog. Time for another week in residency.
Hey, my babies.
Fit check of the day. I know, it looks like every other day. I am so jealous of these guys. It looks so cozy. Water, coffee. Perfect combination of hydrating and dehydrating. Bye, puppies. Rise and shine, guys. So this weekend I had my first 24-hour in-house call shift. So I went in Saturday morning at 7 a.m. and I left the hospital yesterday morning at 7 a.m. and that was rough. And to make it worse, I am the late resident today, which basically means that I'll get to go home after the cases are done for the day, which is pretty cheeks. But we did finally get paid for the first time. I know money's not everything, but as a resident, it definitely makes me feel better. I'll tell you guys more about my call shift later in the vlog because I need to basically hurry up to my OR to get set up. Let's have a good day. Dream team, baby. All right, 2 cases done, just started the 3rd case. It's a combined orthoplastics case, so it's gonna be a long one, but I'm grabbing a quick lunch and then we'll go back to the OR.
Yeah, then these next 2 weekends.
Back to the OR, baby. All right, so it's like 5:30. My case is still going on, so I'll definitely be here till the case is done. And if there's any other cases still going, then I'll probably stay as well since, like I told you guys earlier, I'm the late resident. Some residents have told me they've stayed till midnight. Others have said they go home at 7 p.m. Hopefully it is not the former. All right, guys, I am done. It's like past 8 o'clock, which is pretty crazy. This is the longest I've stayed at the hospital since I started my anesthesia residency. The reason for this is because now that we're done with our 1 month of one-to-one with our attendings, we have been added to the call pool, which basically means we can take weekday call, we can take weekend call, and we now are expected to rotate through second late and first late, which is basically the second to last and last resident to leave the hospital on any given day. I can only go home once all the cases are done, which is basically what just happened. However, until 11 p.m., I can still get called to come back to the hospital. That's pretty crazy considering that yesterday morning I got off of a 24-hour in-house call. So literally in just the past 3 days, I have worked what is essentially the equivalent of a full-time job's worth of working hours. Speaking of the 24-hour call shift, some of you guys are wondering how it went, and essentially it was pretty nuts. It was insane. We essentially had like 2 cases on the board for Saturday when I was chart reviewing the night before. And by the time I woke up at like 5 a.m. Saturday morning, I checked the board and there were 4 cases. And by the end of the day, we ended up doing a total of 8 cases. So cases were just getting added on through the day. Pretty much did cases all the way until like 6 or 7 p.m. And then overnight, we had like 3 level 1s, one of them being a trauma resuscitation, which was my first ever trauma resus of anesthesia residency. It's something that everyone tells us about and we do simulations for and didactics for, and it's pretty nutty that it happened just right in my first call shift. And I think that's actually normal. I'm pretty sure you expect that because these are trauma centers, right? So it was pretty insane. I pretty much worked the entire time, which was definitely a lot, but this is the life we chose, baby. I can definitely see how you will learn the most on your call shifts. And that was the first of many call shifts I'll be taking as an anesthesiology resident. My program, we take a lot of call. Even with not being on call, you still have like late days, like today, for example. But the best part about being the late resident today is that they actually treat the next day as a post-call day, which means I'm off tomorrow, which is incredible. But they only do it that way because there's a chance I could have been here all night if the ORs were crazy and they needed more anesthesiologists. And not to jinx it, but I could still get called back in the next 3 hours to come to a case that could go through the entire night. That being said, I'm gonna go home and pray it doesn't happen. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, guys. Like 10 in the morning. It felt so good to not have to wake up and go to work. I really needed that sleep.
Hi, babies.
I think the dogs are also happy too. Woohoo! It's a puppy party. Hi, Winry. Hi, Princess. Hi, Noya. They love it here. No. You know, this is probably someone's dream. Spin. Woohoo! You guys are so freaking cute. Hello. We're back with Yvonne. It's been a while.
I know.
We're going for a run today. Sunscreen, baby.
Woo! Guys, look at my bruises. I'm actually really excited. I just like kept sticking myself with a pickleball paddle.
I think I'm just getting sunscreen all over my lens. Let's get it.
Yeah!
Nice. Whoa, that's so cool. Whoa. One day you're in the hospital working a 24-hour call. The next you are at the beach. Freaking love San Diego.
Wait, look how fast, look how fast. Look how fast.
Whoa.
I'm so efficient, guys.
Yeah. Hi, sweet. Oh my gosh.
I know, I fell in love with you.
Oh my
so
goodness.
sad.
Yeah. Thank you for letting us say hi. We've only gone 3 miles and we've already seen 2 animals.
Yay, it's like a zoo today.
Woo! Oh my god.
Are you okay?
I was just scared. No!
Nice!
Woohoo!
Woo! 6 miles.
I get the double slice combo. Woohoo! The greatest post-run food.
Pizza.
Alright guys, I had such a fun day off. I basically just spent it catching up on some chores around the house, but I went to the beach with Yvonne like you guys saw, and that was really fun just to be able to get outside, go to the ocean, go for a little run, do some flips. It was just really, really nice. Last week I worked Monday through Friday, had Saturday call, Sunday post call, and then last night was a late residence, so haven't had a lot of time off, so I really needed today. But like I said at the beginning of the vlog, I finally got my first paycheck as a resident here in California. Now, the video that has done the absolute best on my channel was the one that I made about a year ago, where I told you guys how much I made in my first paycheck as a resident. And that video blew up, and a lot of you guys are actually here because of that video. And over the past year, a lot of you guys have asked me if I'm gonna be making the same amount when I move to California. Well, now that I've gotten my first paycheck here, I can finally tell you guys how much I made. I've got my laptop out because I wanna run through some of the numbers with you guys. And something that's important to note is that at my previous program, I was getting paid bi-weekly, and here we actually get paid monthly. So I basically worked through the entire month of July before I got my first paycheck on August 1st. In that paycheck, I got paid $5,620.64. And my actual salary as a California resident is $89,311. Now that $5,620 paycheck was after taxes. So if I multiply that by 12, my actual total income for the next year after taxes will be about $67,447.68. So I lose about $22,000 to taxes. Now I know it's a salary, it's not hourly, but let's break down the amount of hours I worked for this pay. In the month of July, it was our orientation month, so I was spending about 10 hours a day in the OR, plus an additional 1.5 hours per day doing my pre-opping, and then roughly 3 hours per week on top of all that in didactics. So for the month of July, if we just call it 4 weeks, I worked about 240 hours total. Now this is including one of the Saturdays where we had like 4 hours of sim training, or all the time I spent at home on online modules or studying. But if I take my paycheck of $5,620.64 and divide it by 240 hours, it comes out to $23.42 an hour. Again, I know I'm salary, not hourly, but it's always fun to look at that. And that's not bad. In Vegas, my salary was $60,700 before tax. After tax, I was getting paid bi-weekly about $1,942 a paycheck, so a total of like $3,884 a month. But now I don't live at home and actually have to pay rent here, which is about $2,550 a month. So I'm actually taking home less money from my paycheck here than I was in Vegas when I was able to live at home and save up money. That's one of the reasons I stayed home for my intern year, because I was able to strategize in that way and put some money in my pocket before moving to an expensive place like California. But yeah, that's how much I will be making as an anesthesiology resident here in San Diego. However, some of you guys might be wondering how much I'll end up making one day as an attending anesthesiologist. Well, thanks to MeritHealth.com, I can actually see how much money I'll be making as an attending, and Merit's actually the sponsor of this week's vlog. Merit is a completely anonymous, community-powered salary sharing platform built by clinicians for clinicians. It's got over 13,000 real physician and APP salaries updated in real time as people add their own information. Now let me actually show you guys. So I went to Merit and typed in anesthesiology in California, and you can see that the average anesthesiologist salary is over $530,000 a year. And you can see more data like the average base salary, the average bonuses, the average hours per week that they work, as well as the average amount of PTO. And if you scroll down the list, you can see that this actually varies amongst the different cities here in California. Let's say I want to move to Florida one day, then you can see that those stats are actually different. This is the kind of transparency I feel like I never got in medical school. And it's not just anesthesiologists. In fact, clinicians from pretty much every other specialty have contributed their salary data, all in an effort to increase transparency. And the same goes for APPs. You can actually find PA and P and CRNA salaries on here as well. Honestly, Merit has been super helpful for me as a new doctor just starting out. Even just knowing what's out there helps me feel like I'm moving through the system more intentionally rather than just hoping that things get better when I finish my training. Also, something a lot of people don't know is that many new grad attendings really don't have much financial savviness because you really haven't been making a lot of money over the last decade or so. And these new grads can actually get taken advantage of when they're offered their first contracts because the employer knows that they don't know better. So Merit really is helping with that. If you're a physician, NP, PA, CRNA, I highly recommend that you contribute your own data to Merit. It's quick, fully anonymous, and really helps increase transparency for everyone else in this field. You guys can head to MeritHealth.com or click the link in my description to get started. And thank you so much again to Merit for sponsoring this week's vlog. Anyway, guys, that's what I make as a resident. A lot of you guys have been asking me for this salary update pretty much since my first video, and even more so since I've moved to California. Again, I'm a huge advocate for resident salaries and the fact that it is definitely a system that takes advantage of our training. But let me know what you guys think. Are residents getting paid fairly for the training, or do you guys think that resident salaries should reflect the really intense hours and training that we do? Anyway, my day off is getting cut short by the fact that I need to pre-up my patients for tomorrow and call my attending to discuss our cases. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, we took a little intermission, but we're so back. A little more rusted, a little more tan. Real talk though, I really need that day off. I was getting kind of burnt out after this last week or so, but today should be a good day. Got 4 cases scheduled. I also have grand rounds this morning, so that'll be really nice. Let's get it, baby. All right, my first case is going. My attending had me do the entire induction, which was pretty good. It was very smooth. I feel like I did everything very gracefully. I even finished all my charting before the surgery team even gave me the drapes. So that was kind of a big deal. My attending even said really good job, so I'll take that dub. But yeah, I'm gonna take another 5 minutes and then head back to the OR. Yo, we are done for the day. It's like 2:45 and one of the CRNAs came into my room and told me that they were relieving me, which is incredible. I did not think I'd be getting out before 3 on any of these days. So that was a very nice surprise. Oh, in case you guys haven't seen our anesthesia resident lounge, it's basically just a bunch of books, a dummy, bunch of, I don't know, bagels from conference this morning, fridge, water. Pretty much it. They all kind of just throw our stuff on the floor wherever we can. Anyway, time to go home. Today was actually a really good day in the OR, by the way. Like, I did pretty much everything. My attending just sat back and watched, and he did some teaching throughout the cases. But as far as like what I did and my job and my inductions and everything, like I did pretty much all of it. Like I directed the whole thing, and that was really nice that my attending was so hands-off and just wanted to let me do my thing to see where I was at this point in my training. And everything went really smooth. Felt like I was doing a good job. Today was a really good day. I also feel a lot more refreshed today, having yesterday off. Like I felt happier being here at work. It didn't feel so grindy, and the day actually went by really fast. So don't underestimate the power of having days off and spending those days off going to the beach and getting a lot of sun and physical activity, because I feel like I am in much better spirits today because of it. Speaking of which, we're gonna go home, pre-op for tomorrow's patients, and then go for a run. Let's get it, baby. By the way, guys, new video went up today. How much do doctors actually make in 2025? This is actually one of the more interesting videos I think we made on the channel, so make sure to check it out. I've gotten into grinding my own coffee beans, and I have a French press and also a cold brew filter maker thingy. So kind of one of my new hobbies lately. Well, it's not the beach, but this will have to do. Got off early, went for a little jog, got done with my pre-ops, and now I am at the park walking the pups. Beautiful way to end the day. Morning, guys. Happy Thursday. Got a long case today. It's gonna be a big one, but hopefully it goes well. Let's get it. Okay, guys, we are on the struggle bus today. I'll tell you guys about it later. Let's go back to work. Yo, today was kind of cheeks. Long freaking day. I'm really glad it's over. Let me get back to the car. We'll debrief. Yeah, so today kind of sucked, I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't the case or anything that sucked. It's just like I sucked. Like I just was not really killing it today. This is one of the more complicated cases I've been a part of so far during my CA1 year. And I knew it was gonna be tough when I pre-oped last night and I set up this morning, but I don't know, man. It's just one of those days, you know. Yesterday I felt really good. Yesterday I did like most of the stuff all by myself, really. My attending, in fact, was just kind of sitting in a chair, kicking his feet up while I was kind of running things. And today, complete opposite. Complete opposite. Just like I couldn't even get the IV in. I couldn't get the A line in. And I just feel like that just created this domino effect. Like I was putting an OG tube down and it was just coiling, coming back out the nose. A bunch of the stuff in the case we had to do from the anesthesia side, I had just really not done before, or maybe did one time during my one-to-one with my senior or attending. So I just wasn't familiar enough or comfortable enough with it. So I literally just felt like a child lost in Walmart without their parents, except my parents, my attending was there, and I still felt like a lost child, which the case was just a little like complicated for where I am in my training, but was well within the scope of my attending because he obviously knew what we were doing and he was fine. I just felt stupid. I felt useless and stupid. That's it. That's really all it is. And I feel like the whole day was just exhausting because of it. And you know what? I could sit here and say, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I'm not meant to do this. But I am so well aware of the fact that I am in my second month of my anesthesiology training. So that'd be stupid. So stupid to even have those kinds of thoughts, you know? All I can really do is just absorb everything I did today and put it into the memory bank and hope that next time I am just a little bit better. But even though I know that and I have that introspection, I'm not gonna lie, today was cheeks. Not my best performance so far. But that's why we're doing this. That's the whole reason. So it's okay. But I did get relieved a little early by one of our incredible CRNAs, so it evens out. The world is always at balance. Anyway, I'm gonna go wash my car and try to relax a little bit before I get my schedule for tomorrow and have to pre-op. So I'll catch you guys later. You guys know what makes a rough day better? Getting to come home to not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 little puppies. Morning guys, happy Friday. Last day of the week. It's a new day, new attitude. Not gonna let yesterday get me down. Just gonna go in there and do my best today. I have a quick turnover room today, a lot of cases, but they should be pretty straightforward and I should be able to handle it. Let's get it, baby. Yo, we are done. Today was a really good day. Let me get to the car and we'll debrief. Okay, so today was good. Today was a good day. Unlike yesterday, today was very smooth, very quick turnover room. We did a bunch of cases, but they were much simpler compared to yesterday's really long case. And honestly, I felt like I was on top of it. I was doing everything very well. I did all my inductions very smoothly. The cases went very well. All of my airways, lines, everything, money. I felt like I was just in the rhythm of things today. Again, totally different than yesterday. This week was actually a great example of the highs and lows of residency because I came into this week essentially coming off of what was my hardest week in residency so far. Like I told you guys, I worked Monday through Friday last week, did my first 24-hour Saturday call into Sunday, had to go right back to work on Monday. And so I essentially started this vlog really tired. And I actually did not know how I was gonna make it through the week, but luckily I had Tuesday off and that was huge. That was a game changer for this week because if I did not have Tuesday off, I think I would have spiraled. I think I would have crashed out a little bit. And Wednesday was a good day, yesterday was cheeks, and today was a good day. So we kind of did a little bit of this over the past 2 weeks, really. But you know what? That's residency, baby. That's what we're here to do. We're here to have some low lows and some high highs. And you literally just have to get through the suckiness of it all to come out a good clinician. Getting my first paycheck of this program definitely helped the morale, and I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown of my paycheck. I know a lot of you guys were waiting for me to talk about it, especially since my paycheck video that I posted a year ago. That's crazy. My best performing video was a year ago. And if you guys found my channel because of that video, definitely comment down below because a lot of you guys really came to this channel because of that video. So I hope that if you did, that you've enjoyed this ride over the past year because we still have 3 more years to go. Big takeaways for the week, I would say, are getting paid any sort of money makes you feel better. You can't have high highs without low lows, and residency is going to be awesome, and it's also going to suck at the same time, and that's okay. That's literally what you expect. No one goes into residency feeling like they don't know what to expect. Like, we all know it's going to be hard. We all know you're going to have days where you doubt yourself, right? That is like not a surprising thing about this journey. It's just that when you're actually doing it, it can be pretty cheeks. I'm not going to lie. It can be pretty tough. But you can overcome anything with a good attitude, some positivity, and that's really all you can control in life, guys. You know, when things are tough and things kind of suck, you just got to stay positive because otherwise, you're going to feel like you don't have a locus of control over what's happening around you and what you're going through. Anyway, your boy finally has a 2-day weekend, which I am definitely going to soak it all in. I don't got a pre-op tonight, so I'm going to go home, edit this vlog pretty much immediately so I can just get it out of the way and enjoy my 2-day weekend. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining me in another week in residency. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.